Over 1,000 people in Latvia have gathered to pay heroes' honors to SS veterans in a controversial annual march. Many condemn the rally as glorifying Nazism, worried about it inspiring nationalistic youths. Despite that, it's got support at the highest political level, as Jacob Greaves reports.
There's been decades of change since a world where Nazi Germany dominated. But despite their bloody legacy, in some quarters of Europe, their views still have an audience.
Now the Jews are crying about the Holocaust, but between 1940 and 1941, they worked for the Bolsheviks and killed many. I think they received what they deserved.
This is as 1,500 people gathered to officially commemorate those who fought alongside Hitler's armies and joined the Waffen-SS. The meeting stoking fears of a neo-Nazi resurgence in Latvia.
We cannot be silent when the people honoring the memory of the Nazis and of the Waffen-SS are marching in the street of a member of the European Union.
Those in the crowd defend their stance, saying the so-called legionnaires were fighting for liberty at a time when tyranny faced Latvia from all directions. It was a military force formed in 1943 from volunteers and members of the disbanded Latvian auxiliary police, responsible for the mass killing of Jews. Concerns have been raised about these public displays, particularly when the message is being heard by today's youth. This image of Latvia's youth lining the streets to welcome in veterans commemorating Legionnaires' Day is one that has become commonplace. It's also something that's increasingly worrying observers who fear it may represent a rise of the far right. Those same commentators are asking why this message is being supported at the very top of the country's leadership. Latvian President Andris Bērziņš has argued it is foolish to assume that Waffen SS veterans are criminals, saying they deserve the public's respect. It's a stance that has many opponents worried by the direction the country is headed.
People who are in charge, in positions of authority, should not be setting examples where young people start to believe that a Waffen-SS is something that you should wish to follow. You know, the fact that there are also neo-Nazis groups who use these marches as opportunities to promote their xenophobia, their anti-Semitism and so forth is also not correct.
Echoing such sentiment, anti-fascist groups gathered nearby in a protest to the annual march. The recognition of the Latvian SS unit has been slammed by the European Commission against racism and intolerance, but no action has ever been taken to stop the parade.
If any government wants to endorse these kind of actions, and I think there's cause for concern. Obviously, there's the right to, if you want, for freedom of speech, but one doesn't have to welcome it. So if the government's involved and supportive in any way of anything here, then I think it's appropriate for Europe to make some intervention.
But the rise in far-right rhetoric is not unique to Latvia. With a continent gripped by financial crisis, ultra-nationalism has been growing throughout Europe.
You've got what I would call two groups. You've got the fascist right, people are proud of being sort of SS veterans or whatever, and you've got the fascist light, the people who, like probably Marine Le Pen in France, are actually coming from that kind of milieu, coming from that kind of position, but are kind of toning down their policies because it puts off some of the voters, but in many senses are just as dangerous.
It's a growth most apparent in marches that celebrate those who others strongly condemn. Accompanied by personal messages, such as this one made at a Latvian TV station, they stand as a striking image of Europe's lingering past. One that could have an increasing impact on its future. Jacob Greaves, RT, Riga in Latvia.